Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for attending. Thank you so much for attending the Ward F Town Hall. I am the Chief of Staff, Erica Walker, to the Council Office of Ward F Councilman Gilmore. Councilman Gilmore experienced a loss in his family yesterday, so unfortunately he will not be here tonight. With that said, though, I want you all to speak as though he were here, because Lanisha is and also an aide in our office. We like to consider ourselves extension of the council person. So his concerns are our concerns, and his priorities are our priorities. Your priorities are our priorities. So we want you to still address all of your concerns tonight, and make known any comments and concerns you can bring to us. His business cards are up here as well, our contact information. All of it is available on our website, everythingwardf.com. If you aren't familiar with the website, please visit it. Everythingwardf.com is a one-stop shop for residents' resources. So, like I said, I just want to give you a brief overview of the website. And is it stop? Oh, just make it. It's being recorded. You can. It's touchscreen. And just some housekeeping. Anybody on Zoom, if you have any questions or concerns, if you can use the raise your hand function, raise your hand feature. That is in the reactions, under reactions. So if you see the smiley face with the plus sign reactions, there's a raise your hand feature online, or you can submit your question or comment in the chat, and we'll stop for questions after each moment of the town hall agenda. But just to show you our website, this is everythingwardf.com, the People's Ward F. At this site, you can learn how to report from history through the Residence Response Center. You can click to volunteer with our office. You can learn how to find help online, and this will guide you to local nonprofit organizations. You can find your block association if you are looking for leadership in your community. You can find youth programs and learn how to sign your child up for RecDesk through RecDesk. The second chance employment opportunities are also listed here, along with housing and rental assistance opportunities. And then lastly, we have the full list of the Jersey City Department heads. So if you need to reach someone directly and you want to bypass our office, bypass Residence Response Center, and call a department head or a division head, their phone numbers and email addresses are listed on a spreadsheet through this link as well. Then, of course, for urgent matters, always call 911 for non-emergency matters. You can contact the Jersey City Police Department. Normally, we have normally we have representatives from each district, south, east, and west. They all touch Ward F at our town halls tonight. They are not here, but they do have captain's meetings coming up on the 28th. So I guess they didn't want to be redundant. They definitely want more people to come out to their captain's meetings. So the East District and the West District is having a captain's meeting on September 28th. And you can look at our community calendar and find more details about all of those meetings and all community meetings. Any meeting that the city of Jersey City has is also listed on our community calendar as well. With that said, I'm going to get started with our agenda. And first on our agenda is our housing authority to discuss the affordable connectivity program, Jersey City Housing Authority. Is the front this time?
Good evening, how are you? Thank Councilman Gilmore and extended management for our behalf and the whole team for allowing us to come this evening and speak with you all. My name is Catherine Hack. I work with the Jersey City Housing Authority. We recently were awarded a grant for promoting the Affordable Connectivity Program, otherwise known as ACP. If you haven't heard about that, it basically allows for all residents in Jersey City that are low income to get the FCC benefit of saving $30 on your home internet bill. In Jersey City, only 37% of residents that qualify are even signed up. So the first part that we're trying to do is go out into the community and make people aware that this is not a scam. If you have heard about ACP, it is a real benefit from the FCC. It is something that many people can apply for and qualify for. If you already receive any kind of public assistance, a WIC, SNAP, if your children get free lunch or free breakfast, there's lots of different criteria that you could be eligible and then be able to apply. We go into the community because we are trying to help with digital equity. We know coming out of the pandemic that it is very important to have working internet at home. While some children may get a tablet from school, they will probably still have to go to the library to do a lot of different projects because you can't do everything on the tablet, you can't do everything on the smartphone. If you are out of work and you're looking for work, looking for a job and uploading resumes on a smartphone or a tablet is very difficult. So being able to do these things at home on a laptop makes life much more easy, and we should all be able to do those things at home. So we do have a flyer in the back. It looks like this. If you're Spanish speaking, we also have it in Spanish. We have it in many other languages because in Jersey City we are many languages. Basically, you would scan the QR code. When you do that, you answer a few questions. Within a matter of minutes, you would know if you qualify. If you qualify, you then just get directed directly to the FCC ACP website. You set up an account, you fill out the information. You have to upload your documentation, which would be some kind of form of ID, whether it be a picture ID, a federal ID. If you are non-documented, then your passport would count as well. There's lots of different qualifiers for that. And then whatever would make you eligible, you would put up that information. So if it was SNAP, you would take a picture and upload a picture of SNAP, just as an example. Many people don't know how to do that. Again, we are here to help you. So we can do it on our tablet tonight if you wanted to start the process. And it could just be as a matter of getting to that first part to see if you even qualify. We could help you with that, and then that would email you a checklist so that you would know everything that you would have to get after that. If you try to do it on your own and you have questions, say, wait, I'm stuck, we have office hours. We are available on Tuesdays and Thursdays at the Hudson Gardens office, which is right on Newark Avenue by Dickinson High School. You can come in at any time between 11 and 3. If that time is not convenient, you can always call. My name and my number and my email is on the form in the back. So you can always give me a call, goes directly to my work cell, shoot me an email. We are here to help. So if you have any questions, both myself and my coworker, Nandi Williams, will be in the back. We will be here throughout the whole evening. We're happy to answer any kind of questions that you have.
We can take questions now. If anybody has a question now, you have a microphone in the back. But, well, they'll be here for the rest of the meeting. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Michelle?
So we are going to many different community events. We've gone to food pantries. We've gone to things like I Love Greenville barbecue. We've gone to some of the music series. Anybody and everybody that would like us to have us at an event like this or any other community event, we are happy to go to them. All the work has to be done in person via our grant. We also are partnering with different organizations who have lists that are willing to tell people about what we're doing and invite them to either come to our office hours and see us in person, or if they have an event, you can actually go right on our website, which is, I don't want to say it wrong, www.jerseycityha.org/ACP outreach. You go onto that page, you can invite us to an event that you're having. It could be a meeting, anything like that. As long as there's, 5 or more people, will come and we'll speak to residents and we'll answer whatever questions they have. And if you have a lead for us, please tell us today and we'll make sure that we put you on our list.
And we have a microphone. We have a microphone in the back only because we're on Zoom too. So we want to make sure the Zoom can also hear your question as well. And we'll also send your information to all of our block associations. So I think those block meetings is an opportunity as well.
Wonderful, thank you.
It was only part of your content. So it's a little difficult to switch it. So most people I know, my neighborhood, have just chosen to get a phone. Why are going on?
Yeah, that is part of it, and Lifeline subscribers are definitely in a different part of the sign up. We do not do Lifeline signups, they do their own, and that's throughout the whole state. And just to be clear, like I said, this is an FCC program. It is not just in New Jersey, it's in every single state, and it's a pilot. So what does a pilot mean? It means that enough people have to sign up for this program to keep it going. So Congress will look at this next May and say, all right, how many people signed up and should we put more money into it to keep it going? So it's very important that we not only get the word out, but get people to sign up so that we can prove to Congress as a country that this is something that's important so that they'll put more money into it going into the next budget season.
Any other questions?
Great. Again, we'll be here, so just feel free to come up to us. We don't bite. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, next we're gonna discuss quickly the Residence Response Center. I wanted to get this out the way because I like to try to answer questions before they come up. At the end of the night, when people start asking questions, you're gonna hear me say, oh, RRC can do that. RRC can do that. So what is RRC? The Residence Response Center is the city's customer service, I like to call them. And you've got a problem with something the city is responsible for, you call the Residence Response Center and you submit a ticket. You tell them where you live or where the problem is. Say if there's a pothole and it's not on your street, you can get the address nearest to where that pothole is, call the Residence Response Center. You can even send them a picture. So you can call them by phone, 201-547-4900. You can send them an email, rrc@jcnj.org, or you can visit the website, Fix, and submit a ticket if you're savvy enough. But this starts the process of getting this problem resolved. If and when, well, let me back up. When you call, it is important that you ask for your ticket number. This is your receipt. A lot of them aren't trained to give you your ticket number. So you might get on the phone and just feel like it was just a venting session and nothing's gonna be done though. Make sure you get that ticket number because then you can follow up online. You can go to Fix, put in your ticket number and see where the city is in the progress of solving that problem. If you go online and you see that they've closed your problem, but it really isn't solved, that's when you call our office and we will light the fire under that department and say, hey, you closed this ticket, the pothole's still there. That's a no-no. But first and foremost, your Residence Response Center should be your first stop. If you aren't getting success with them, though, we will happily step in. So I just wanted to get that out the way. We have these booklets in the back. They also introduce all of the departments and divisions in Jersey City. There was just some restructuring. So some of the divisions and departments are like switch places. So this will tell you their direct line to get the contact those individual departments. Residents Response Center, I love them. Answer the phone. They won't give it to the number. You ask them. Make sure you get your receipt. So next up will be a presentation. So we're going to pause on the part of workforce because we don't have Mr. Goodman here yet. Councilman Gilmore is here. Because the two lieutenants who were supposed to come to talk about parking department aren't here, we're going to leave that for later on. We'll give them an opportunity to come here. But we'll invite Dunkin' Donuts to come next and present on the MLK location expansion. So. Your main school, you have one parent. I'm right now. I'm gonna unhighlight this one so that you can. All right. So yeah, you're spotlighted now. Thank you, also the share. Sure, definitely. Great.
My name is Alan. I'm currently the welfare of Mr. Collins. You're need to be updated. Can't simply go to the zoning board and ask them for maybe.
They can't hear you, so just hold the microphone on.
If you all know, there's an existing drive through there. And one of the things that we want to do is try to improve that condition. Right now, when you'll see on some plans, we'll share with you shortly. There's a limited number of cars. My plan with everybody shortly. We are here tonight. It was very much attractive because the city planning department, when you're looking for an amendment to a redevelopment plan, to share your plans with the community. The city, the councilman, and share the problem. And share with you your thoughts, your feelings. With that, I'm going to ask the owner, Nick Marco.
That makes no sense what the name is, but Nick's been a member of the community for a long, long time, and he's going to help. He's going to take you through what we're planning to do.
Just speak into the mic because they can't hear you on the phone.
Hello, is that good? Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me here. I just want to say hi. So it's pretty quick. I was born and raised in Jersey City. I was school, grammar school, high school. When I decided to open Dunkin's, I actually chose Jersey City to be in the area. So I currently own 3 in Jersey City. I own West Side Avenue, Palisade Avenue, and Martin Luther King. I did own 3 in Hoboken. I actually sold those stores because I was going to develop this project. So I divested from Hoboken to invest in Jersey City. So a couple of things here. So this is the actual picture of the current drive-through, right? So everybody knows it. So we see that there. And so what we're going to do is we want to build the building back. So this would be the back side of the building, right? So we want to build the building back, which is going to allow me to increase the square footage of the current building, right? So that is the back side. So the front side would look like that. So you would see three tenants. So I would have Dunkin' and I would have 2 tenants. And that's what that looks like. So here's where it becomes beneficial.
Nick, just for the record, the drive-through would only serve the Dunkin'.
Only serve the Dunkin', yeah. So here's where it becomes beneficial. I'll show this. So this is my new plan, but this is my drive-through now. I only get 6 cars in the drive-through. And then you can see cars 7, 8, 9 would be on the street. So that's because I have a single drive-through, and by the time you come out, that's where it goes. So with the new plan, we wind up with the same 9 cars, but I'm gonna add a double drive-through, just like McDonald's does. So you would have 2 menu boards. So you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is the existing drive-through, and then I add 7, 8, and 9 because we have the double drive-through. So that would alleviate the basic backup on Martin Luther King. What it allows me to do is to build, need to show that way. So I'll keep talking. What it allows me to do is to build a better Dunkin'. So everybody says, it's a busy store, as you know, it's a great community. I pride myself, I'm the lowest priced Dunkin' in Jersey City, Hudson County by far. I order great value, I do 3 donuts for $3 all the time, so, what this allows me to do is to build a better Dunkin' that can service people in a better way, because the store is just crazy busy. The second thing it allows is, so if you look at this, this is Martin Luther King, so the Dunkin' now goes lengthwise, and then I add 2 new stores that are almost 3,000 square feet. So, a couple of things. So I like to think I'm a young 59, okay? So I'm not retiring. I got about 10 more years left. I have the honor of working with my son every day. He's in the store every day, so am I. Right now I have 65 employees. I have 10 that have been with me for almost 18 years, which is amazing when you say it's just a Dunkin' Donuts. 2 of them are here today. I hired Sasha when she was 14. I won't tell you how old she is now. And I hired Rosa. She was my first employee that I ever hired, and that was 22 years ago. So a couple things. I currently employ 65 people. This would go up. I would probably hire 40 more people. Out of the 65 people, 99% are from Jersey City. So besides me and my son, if you go in my store, you will see. If you go in my store, you'll see I hired a lot of high school kids, first job, right? We try to be a mentor to them, teach them the right way to do things. This job is going to create about 5 more management jobs. So I have, and I promote from within. So Rosa started out as a counter person. She's now general manager. Sasha was working weekends. She's general manager. So all my shift leaders started out as entry level. So this is where I'm at. We're going to own and operate these things. So we're looking for feedback. I know Michelle did some survey of employees before. A pizzeria was brought out to be something. So I'm in the process of taking ideas and information as to what these 2 stores will be. But they will be opened and owned and operated by me. They're not going to be for rent to somebody else. Because if you go down the drive, there's a lot of for rent sites. So if anybody has a question.
Any questions? Any questions on the chat?
Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much.
Okay.
She's a very nice and respectful person, and also supports the SDHU, when you said no. It's my city, right? I donated donuts to help us with food and every week at the science. Okay, and he shows care, because it shows he care about his staff. He has a staff of different people and cultures. So he has really everybody. He's a gentleman also. And we appreciate him. He's good.
I would be remiss if I didn't piggyback on what she said. One day about almost 5 years ago now. I came out of my house and in my front yard, there was a box, a Dunkin' Donuts box that was full of muffins and donuts and different things from the store. And I didn't know who left me there. I know my neighbors, many of them know that we serve as a community center. So I had no idea where they came from, and I couldn't serve them because the box was open, and I didn't know how long it had been there. So I had a thought, and I think it was a divine revelation that told me to go to Dunkin' Donuts and ask if they could donate to us. Well, I was really, really amazed because on the front of the door, there was Nick's name and his phone number, which I had programmed in my phone, and it worked because I had called him before. And when I went in to speak with him, I told him what we wanted, what we'd like him to do, and he said, well, how did what prompted you to come to me? So I told him the story about the box of donuts and his products in my front yard. And after we chatted a little while, he immediately agreed to donate to us. This has been going on now for almost 5 years. And the only time we weren't able to work was because of COVID. But other than that, he's asked people, what do you need? If you ever need to increase the amount, just let me know. I am very, very grateful. I support everything that he does because I know that when I go in his store, I am going to be greeted by people who are very nice, people who are very pleasant, and people who are still very professional. So I am just grateful, and I just have to speak up and share this with you. Thank you.
I will say this, when I first heard about the proposal, I was scared. I live directly on ED, and literally right now, sometimes I be forgetting on the council, I be literally wanting to jump out my car because people be blocking the intersection in the morning. But it's important to know with this project, for the most part, most of the proposals as of right, except for with respect to, and that's what I want you to talk about, Nick, what could you essentially do without planning's approval to do, the current project?
Thank you, Councilman. I'll answer that. We could do the project, as it is, we just couldn't improve the drive-through, we'd have to leave the existing drive-through. Now, on top of that, we are also asking for relief from the minimum height here. So right now, the minimum height is 2 stories, we're asking to go down to 1, because obviously that's appropriate for this type of building, but we could always build apartments on top of it and other stuff. So really what we're asking for is, it's not going to enable this project, it's going to enable this project to be better.
What I will say about Nick and Dunkin' Donuts, I've actually wanted, it's not my choice of snack, just a regular flat, but I do have kids that love snacks, so occasionally we go in there, and I've seen several of my mentees there, and he didn't hire him because of me, because I didn't even know him at that moment. So I would say, Boston's roots in Jersey City and him reaching back to the community, that is a huge upside, because if you look at the recent development that's going on, we see all these things going up, and for the most part, we don't have no say in it. We don't have no invested interest. This is bringing jobs. He's committed, and he's already proven that he's going to hire local people. It's a very diverse staff. It's a very, very diverse group of people. But I did, in all fairness, when I said, I don't think it's a bad idea. But with all projects, whether I dislike, like, in the middle, I always say present it to the community, because ultimately they are the ones that have to live with whatever go there, whatever change they have to live with it every single day. So I just wanted to be respectful to the community by reaching out and having them come and present. So if you guys don't have, and ladies don't have any further questions as it relates to this, we can definitely go to the second. Does anybody on Zoom have any questions, comments, or concern as it relates to this, development here? The Dunkin' Donuts. Any brought you guys some donuts? Again, not my choice of snacks. They are there. Hold on, Ms. Massey,
I just wanted to know if you had any further thoughts as to what type of business that you're looking to put into those two additional spaces.
I have. So I started looking at franchisees, right? So other franchises that I could own and operate. With that comes a proven track record. So I'm looking at that. I might combine them. So that's almost 3,000 square feet. I might make it one big store. But I will tell you, salads will be on the menu, very healthy. Just because of the working crew in that area. So, when I say a pizzeria, it's very interesting. Like, I like going into a pizzeria where you see like 11 different pies and they're all different slices and they're already made. You don't really see that. You see it downtown. You see it in some parts, but you don't see it in Jersey City, like in this area. So whatever I open we will do quality, affordable, and great energy. I think for those of you that come to the drive-thru, I'm in the window most times, my son's on the headset. It's great energy in there. So, but we will talk, we will seek for some, information that what we can do. But I am in the development stage.
But two things we don't want to see, Nate, just so the record is clear, is a liquor store and a smoke shop.
Yeah, I was just, and you mentioned earlier, we did a survey in the municipal building, I think so. And I'm going to do the same in the safety building. So that we have that staff here, all week long. And if you have a clue as to the kinds of foods they're looking for. Because as I told you before, there are a lot of vegetarians. And I went around and shared that with businesses, and I don't think anybody's really adjusted, but, you can cater to that.
I would appreciate it.
Love your spot. So, let's see if we can get them over there for other reasons.
I will definitely look at it. I'll get in touch with you, I promise. Thank you very much.
Was that Don Pepe? Somebody asked what your name was.
Don Petty.
Okay, yes.
Any more questions?
Well, one more. One more. Cause Nick is on my board of directors, and he's been great. And we brought up
Give him the mic
with
to
the
Zoom,
board.
because we want the Zoom to hear you.
You're projecting to.
Oh, okay. So we brought up the fact that, there should not be a left turn when you're coming out of that driveway. In the first year they were open, I think a car tried to outrun a bus because the drivers are not considerate. And, I think one of our board members suggested those things that you put in down the yellow line to prevent people from turning. I just wanted, Nick, did you think about that any further?
Yeah, so a couple things we did. The new building will be cut so that we'll be able to see people walking. That's even beneficial. But it will be a big no turn left sign, and I'll have the mirrors that you can see people walking down the street, but much better quality than I have there today, which is very small here. So that will be addressed with the engineering and the city.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I think from an infrastructural perspective, we have to be drastically better, with that whole intersection, not even just Dunkin' Donuts, that whole intersection right there, because, as the city developed, the infrastructure has been stagnant. So that's something that we really have to address from the infrastructure.
Well, Councilman, that's part of every site plan review, city engineering, the traffic department. We'll take a look at it and they'll tell us what to do.
Okay, how long will it take to complete the expansion of Dunkin' Donuts? I guess they wanna know if Dunkin' Donuts is gonna still be open.
So the plan would be to build the building back, and I would stay open, so I gotta expand the building, and then I would probably have to close for about 3 weeks to knock the wall down and then make it 2 stores, make it 3 stores, so about 3 weeks.
Okay, oh, and I do have one more question, I apologize, this is essentially my favorite question of all new development. Can we ensure that local people have the opportunity to work on the actual building construction of the establishment?
Yeah, I hire a local contractor,
Okay,
that's what I do, so,
all right,
and, yeah.
okay. That's not, okay, thank you, appreciate it, guys.
This is different,
Is Via here?
Yeah, Via is here. And up next, we have Via, the driver's transportation alternative.
Yes. So in case you ladies and gentlemen don't know, Via is temporarily housed literally in my backyard. So I know before you would see them on, what's that Cable Point Road in Garfield? Now they're on Eady, it's 70 Eady, it's 70 Eady. So we just really wanted to Via to come here because something that really jumped out would be, Via ridership is up in a lot of places, but it's not anymore, that's up. And we just want to make sure, one, that our residents know, well, on the south side, our residents know that this service is available. So thank you for joining us, young lady.
Absolutely, I'm so happy to be here. And first of all, it's hard coming after Dunkin' Donuts. I really appreciated that presentation, and I think one thing that really stood out was just the community and the energy here tonight. And I want to thank you all for welcoming me. Want to get a show of hands of how many of you have seen purple Via vans driving through Jersey City? Okay, so it sounds like probably 80% of people. So probably aware. How many of you have actually ridden Via vans? Okay, smaller number. Okay. What it is a service. Do you all see the presentation? Okay. Actually, let me start with introducing myself before I go into what it is. I'm Leah. I'm the director of operations at Via, and I'm actually one of the individuals who's responsible for ensuring high quality service. So essentially, like good ridership in Via in Jersey City. Just go ahead. Perfect. So what we do is we're essentially pulling people together in vans. We're heading in the same direction to try to make it more efficient to get from one place to the next. So for those of you who've ridden it again, you've probably ridden it with someone else. And that's very much because we're in public transit. We want to make it reliable, affordable, over time sustainable. We're getting more and more EVs into the fleet, which we're very excited about. And we create what we call virtual bus stops at a location which is close to where you want to get picked up and then dropped off. So if you haven't tried it yet, I would highly recommend trying it. It's the Via app. And actually I have brochures right here that we can distribute. Then you can download, you can distribute the brochures. Actually fine because there's yeah, exactly, and they're on the back and not up there. But there's a QR code that you could use to download the app. I'm also happy to go around and help you all to download it. As I was mentioning, our goal really is to provide safe, reliable, efficient transportation in Jersey City. You can book a ride on demand, either through the Via app or through calling a phone number. The number is listed here, and it's also the brochure that we're distributing. And we work very closely with Jersey City. We're hired by Jersey City to essentially complement existing fixed bus routes and other forms of transit. And so we have a central zone right here and an outer zone. The word F in this case would be in the outer zone. And we enable rides within this outer zone so you could get from different spots within ward F or between the central zone and the outer zone, or the outer zone and the central zone. It's a flat fee of $2, and if there are additional miles within the outer zone, we charge 50 cents per mile. I will note the city has been pushing Port Liberty ferry rides in particular, and it's going to be offer free rides to and from Port Liberty in particular. Booking through the app should be fairly straightforward. Actually, I should have brought my phone here, but I also wanted to walk you through that process for those of you that actually have the Via app on your phone. To sign up for it, I should say, we need your name, your email, your phone number to actually create the account. You can input your payment information, debit, credit, or prepaid cards. We will offer 5 free rides, I believe it is, for when you first sign up. We also get some referral bonuses. If you want to refer a friend or anyone, you can book over the phone, as I was mentioning, and we're going to ask you for similar specifications as we do when you book in the application. We make this accessible, so we offer dedicated wheelchair vehicles, phone booking, door-to-door options. If you have lower mobility, so instead of being corner to corner, we can pick you up at your door or drop you off at a door. And then the app is compatible for both Android and Apple phones. Any interest in potentially being a driver? Okay, there's one, so I'm going to go through this, and there may be some more individuals on the line I'm going to go through, but we are always looking for more drivers, and the vast majority of our drivers are from Jersey City, or actually are from Jersey City, so we're excited to continue to grow our driver base here. It's relatively, I'll go into the logistics, but before, our driver partners really are helping to provide this valuable service to the Jersey City community. And we want it to be similar to what it is for our riders, a great experience for drivers. We offer competitive pay and incentives, flexibility and independence. You choose your own schedule. You choose when you want to sign up for a shift or not. We offer support and safety. They will know we've put in dash cams into some vehicles to help really promote safety. Our goal is to provide you great customer service, good understanding how to use the VIA platform. We want to uphold the safety and finally want to unlock the full VIA value. If you are interested in learning more, you're welcome to scan this item. I'm also happy to work with you on downloading the application on your phone. I think that's what I wanted to cover. So to summarize what the message I want to communicate is this is a service that is brought to you by Jersey City at fairly low cost, lower than what they're actually paying for it. And really the intent is to increase your mobility, especially at times where there may not be a bus or your car's broken down, whatever it might be, to help you get within the outer zone and to the inner zone, to and from the inner zone as well. And we're always looking to make the service better. We have been victims of our own popularity. I can go into the details there, but we're always looking to iterate and make improvements so that it's as useful as possible to all of you. Any questions? Yes, Erica.
I would, well, more of a comment or suggestion.
Please.
I love VIA, and I was an avid Uber driver. I used to be an Uber driver, and I used to be an avid Uber rider before I had an opportunity to buy a car again. Could you have more advertisements, especially at bus stops, about VIA's availability, especially the part where you say if you're a senior citizen or disabled, it comes to your door, because that's one of the biggest complaints that we've been received. Is like, oh, I have to walk a couple blocks. I'm a senior, I can't do it, or I don't know how to download the app. I think it's amazing that you also take phone calls and you give this great customer service. The problem is people just don't know. So if you can have ads at bus stops, I think that would be a great way to advertise and then also do more community engagement. Because when I looked on the website, your hotspots are all on the north side of town, and in the Heights and downtown. And there's actually, somebody told me, one of the reasons why not a lot of ridership downtown, because there's a sign downtown.
Very interesting.
So we would love to see more signs on the top.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can gladly do that. Thank you.
And then if you have other questions, feel free to, this is recorded by, or our data will help you. And we'll take questions on Zoom right after the question person.
Yeah, sir.
Quick question. I know that.
We're not on, the mic. Twice.
It's great that the prices are low, which is great. And I'm just wondering, how is it funded and for how long will it be funded? You know,
Like,
it's
great
not something that's
question.
gonna come in 2 years and then we.
Yeah, absolutely. And it has been in place since 2021, so it's been in place for two and a half years. It is funded almost entirely by Jersey City. There are a couple of other grants that we have access to through the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection in particular, and that's what's enabling us to make the fleet greener through bringing EVs in. So that is one state level funding source, and the other one is mostly Jersey City. We're at a stage where we have, precluding any issues with the renewal coming up in early 2024. It will be secured until 2025. So the service, like I fairly, strong confidence that the service will be in place until 2025. After that, I think we'll have to see with the mayoral change where things are at. But our aspiration is to make this service bigger and continue to be a valuable resource for the community.
I'll be the mayor in 25.
As ridership moves up, do you plan on adding more vans? Because I find myself not being able to catch a ride or waiting over half an hour.
It's a great question, and it's something that keeps me up at night. It's something I think a lot about because we have been, in a way, and I mentioned that earlier, kind of victims of our own success because with the increased ridership and we have kind of limited funds, obviously, it has meant that we've had higher ETAs. It's just taken longer for a van to get to you, or you may have to walk slightly more or spend more time in a van than you would otherwise. And so one, we will be adding more vans through the EV grant, the electric vehicle grant that I was talking about earlier, which should help alleviate, just bring more vans, more drivers on the road. Beyond that, we're also, I think one of the advantages of it is it's a technology and we have a sophisticated algorithm behind it. And so we're able to make some tweaks to the parameters in the algorithm that can help also serve more riders with the same supply that we have. We actually have a rider survey out right now to help us understand some of the trade-offs that you're willing to accept. So if, for those of you that are taking the survey, please take it. It really helps us continue to improve the experience.
Yeah, is there a situation where you will not pick up someone? Meaning if someone went grocery shopping and it's a ride share situation, apparently you can't have so many groceries if you're going to get in a ride share car. And I know a lot of our seniors particularly have to take situations like that just to go to the store.
I have to follow up with you. And can I just do it, because I need to check something on my computer, because I know we just came up with a new policy about that. I think it depends on what the volume is, but I'll be able to respond to you in 5 minutes after this.
Or have a fleet of cars specifically for those who want to go shopping. Because that's a real issue with bus lines being canceled and.
Right, exactly.
And there's no, other than here on MLK, so you have extra market. But to go to Avenue on 440 or ShopRite downtown, it's a real challenge for folks.
Yeah, I really appreciate that feedback. I think that makes a lot of sense. And one, I'll take a look at the policy because I know we have a policy about it. And two, I do know that we're continuously, as I was mentioning, looking to improve the service. And one of the ways in which we're thinking of doing that, as well as being able to capture more information from a rider, because the trade-off is if 5 riders, the idea is to pull people together. If they have 5 riders all went shopping, there may not be room for every source. And so we need to capture that information to optimize it overall. So that's part of the improvements. At the end of the day, we're a technology firm that's continuously iterating, and so I think this type of input is really helpful for us to improve the product. Thank you. Perfect.
How often do you check your vehicles for faults? Only because in my last VIA ride, myself and my 3-year-old daughter we had to get out on the passenger side into traffic because we had to get on the driver's side, on the traffic side, because the passenger door didn't work, it didn't open, and it was a dangerous she's on that side, and so the driver was flagging that outside traffic for us, so we can cross the street, but
Yeah.
that shouldn't have to
I
happen. So
agree. Yeah, I appreciate you bringing that up. I think it's something I've noticed as well, and I've taken it. At the end of the day, we have daily checks of the vehicles. So we have the new lot that you just talked about. We have a lot manager who's responsible for taking a look at vehicles, making sure there are no flat tires, identifying these types of issues. What I would imagine has happened in this case is that we know that there's an issue with that, and we were waiting for the part, but want to keep to the point we were mentioning earlier, the vehicle in the fleet, to not reduce capacity, to not have more seat unavailables, or to be able to cater to the most riders possible. But if you do identify, I think that information, I would flag it to the driver as well, to just make sure that they flagged it to the lot manager.
and also drivers in conversation with them tell me that they have reported these issues when it goes on. So I feel like that car should be off the road.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of cars in the lot that don't move. Like,
Yeah.
When you want to happen size, like we see.
Right.
Dozens of cars just sitting there, so you can switch them out. That would be great, instead of putting the bad car on the street.
Feedback captured. Thank you. Okay. Do we have any questions?
Any more,
Yeah.
for anyone else out here?
Just a few on Zoom, please.
Okay, I appreciate your engagement. If anyone wants help downloading the app, I'm more than happy to.
So we do have a question from Zoom from Jean Daly. She says, will VIA be reimbursing Jersey City for the grant the city procured to electrify the VIA fleet? My concern is that for a for-profit company, VIA is receiving funds that could have been better used for installing charging stations around the city. She also has, are your employees considered independent contractors? And then do you want to answer that before the next question?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think first of all, sorry, we didn't get the grant. Jersey City has the grant. And there are two components to the grant. The first is $1 million that's actually intended to be allocated to charging stations that can be used by the community. So it's not intended to be for VIA, we just help Jersey City access that grant. The second one is the electric vehicle, so just adding more electric vehicles. And again, we're not the recipients of the grant. Jersey City is the recipient of the grant, and they're choosing how to allocate that money. So
They're giving some of the money, giving VIA some of the money.
exactly, for electric vehicles, because that's something the mayor wants to push. But I think Jersey at the state level as well.
So in short, VIA will not be refunded.
No, we're not getting anything. I mean, we don't get any of that money that we're getting.
All right, so the next one.
Okay, the next question, are your employees considered independent contractors?
So, driver partners are considered independent contractors, and so by definition, they are not our employees, and that's really intended to, at the end of the day, it is up to them to shape their work. They come to work with their tools, their phone as an example, they rent the vehicles actually, and we enable them to, or we provide hours, shifts, whenever they want to work, but we don't prescribe any of it. It is really up to them to choose when and how they want to come to work.
There have been many complaints about the VIA service. What precise plans do you have to address the situation? I guess they want to know details about how you. So I'll continue. VIA has been discontinued in major U.S. cities. It's been additionally reported that VIA is looking to shut down its van services and to enter the housing business, the busing business. What guarantee can you give listeners of the long-term viability of your service for Jersey City residents?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, we have no plans to shut things down at all. I think on the contrary, what we've recognized, and I work across a couple of different markets, is once we enter a community, we tend to stay in that community because we are providing a valuable service, and a service, frankly, that complements fixed bus routes or subways or light rail. So we have no intention of it getting shut down. At the end of the day, it's a service in Jersey City offered by the city, and so we are dependent, or the service is dependent on these funds. So that's where I think we have changed there. They have an impact. But we have no plans to stop in what's called the micro transit space, which is what we offer in Jersey City.
And then an online question, want to confirm, so are your drivers insured or they have to get self-insured?
In what kind of insurance? Are we talking about vehicle insurance? Are we talking about health insurance?
Vehicle, so insurance, I'm assuming,
Because explain the dynamic,
for driver.
like, you guys.
We provide a platform.
Yes,
We
yes.
provide, to clarify, we provide a platform whereby we help match drivers with vehicle partners. So we work with an Avis and or like a Hertz and enable drivers to rent those vehicles for their shifts. And so by virtue of that, they actually, if they sign up for a shift, they also sign up for their own insurance for that shift. We do cover insurance before they get into the vehicle and after they leave the vehicle. So it's actually pretty complex from an insurance standpoint, but they are insured. There's car insurance as part of this work.
Thank you.
The health insurance one is a little bit trickier. It depends on the state. In Jersey City, there is no health insurance, and that's largely because, at the end of the day, we don't prescribe any of their hours or anything like that. So we have one driver that will sign up for one shift in a week, as an example. But the next week they may choose not to sign up. So it's a flexible, and that's part of the advantage. It's a very flexible model. I did want to come back to what one person had mentioned about the service. Just for my own education, if you could specify what we're talking about in terms of service improvements, that would be helpful for me. Because again, I aspire to always improve the service.
I think what will be helpful is do you have a way to make comments, even if you're not an active, like if I'm not active on Via, but I want to be active, where can I go to ask questions?
It's a great question. I know we have customer support, so emailing customer support is probably a good way, and I'll just make sure those emails are flagged to me, so I have access to this feedback.
And I'll provide that email address Yeah. So we're gonna add Via's contact information to our website. We do want to help promote and put this presentation
And then
on
on
our
the
website.
flyer idea.
Yes,
That's a great.
we definitely need to talk.
Okay, excellent. We'll work together on that.
And if you guys, you can start with a big banner right on MLK and want to lock you guys up right there.
Great
Yeah.
idea, that's
Right
such
there.
a good idea. Absolutely.
I have another question, sorry.
No, they ran.
Okay, right.
I have another question. Because you are moving to the heart of Ward F, that means a lot more traffic. Your cars will be leaving, your home base will be in our area, so that's a lot more exhaust. Do you plan to plant trees in Ward F?
Great question.
To balance out,
Yeah.
what do you call it, zero emissions?
Yeah, exactly. And it's not something I've thought of, but I'm happy to contemplate that with the city. Yeah, it's a good idea. I know that we're currently in a temporary lot, but the school is gonna be built in a lot where we're currently in, so we couldn't apply from there, but.
That's been planned for years. So you might be
Okay,
in for a while.
okay. Well, thank you so much for having, I don't know if there are any more questions. That's until 6 months away.
Yes, it's definitely. But we do want to thank you, for presenting today. What's next?
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We normally have, the captains here, but for whatever reason, they weren't able to come today. Oh, yeah, so if you're in the East District, they have a captain's meeting on the 28th of September, which is at 326 8th Street in Jersey City. If you know Ward F is, parts of Ward F is in the South Police District, the West Police District, and the East Police District as well. The West is the 28th too. Oh, yeah, so both of them are on the 28th. The West is actually at Old Bergen Church at 1 Highland Avenue.
Okay, so next we're gonna go back to parking enforcement real quick. The parking enforcement representatives aren't here today, so I'm just gonna touch on it real quick. A lot of people, we've been getting a lot of complaints, of course, about parking. It's taking you longer and longer to get home from work to find a spot. People are having to circle their blocks several times. We understand that. So, what we have done is, we have armed your block association presidents with the information to, gather petition signatures if you want to add your block or blocks, because you need at least 3 blocks, to qualify to get added to the zone's parking ordinance. This zone parking ordinance would need from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., I believe it's around 7 p.m., that you only persons who have zone's parking permit registration would be allowed to park for more than 2 hours on your block. So, if someone is there for too long, you can call parking enforcement to get them moved. Actually, it's gonna be a little harder to identify whether somebody has a parking permit or not, because now they go just by the plates, they just read the plates. But I've been told that parking enforcement now has vehicles that automatically scan plates as they drive up and down. So if somebody doesn't have their plate registered, they will get a ticket. So zone parking might be for you if you feel as though it is. If you want to learn more about it, you can reach out to your block association. They've been armed with all of the resources. You can also email our office and we can send you that zone parking ordinance, so you can help gather signatures for those petitions. We do have petitions at the back, if you'd like to collect some, and start helping your block association gather more petitions. Once you have 80% buy-in, that means 80% of your block. So if there's 10 houses on your street, you need 8 signatures. 20 houses on your street, you need 16 signatures. Once you have 80% in, then you can bring that to our office, and Councilman Gilmore is happy to sponsor an amendment to the zone parking ordinance to add your block to that zone. And then it's $10 to register your vehicle, 15 for the next vehicle, 20 for the third vehicle. So if you have more vehicles in your household, it goes up $5 maybe, and it's annual.
And I would say with regards to the zone parking, some people like it, some people don't like it. I just want you to know, my position is, I don't have a horse in the race in the sense, if I think you should get it, you shouldn't. That's a decision that the area has to make. I'm not gonna get in the middle of saying, I think it's a good out there, I think it's a bad out there, because ultimately the people that live there, again, this is a decision that they have to live with. So if it's something that you want to do, please consult your neighbors.
And if you want to ask people who have experienced it, right now, Stedman, White, and Fulton, they have zone parking. So if you know anybody on those streets, you can ask them, hey, how do you like the zone parking ordinance? Is it working for you? Is it helping you find parking, or is it more of a headache? So if you're looking for somebody in this ward area, that's the only ward location that has zone parking right now, other than the downtown. Zone parking is all over downtown and all over the heights. And we also can send you more emails with that information. And then we'll move right along to any questions. We have copies of the petition in the back. And on the table in the back. So there's 15 slots. So if you have more than 15 houses on the block, you may want to take more than one page. Because remember, you need 80% buy-in. To our council office, 39 Kearney Avenue, aka 4 Jackson Square.
And also, if everyone can, please make sure they signing in, because we try to make sure we get information out in abundance and as quickly as possible. As it relates to things coming in, the email is the quickest form of disbursement when it relates to emails, i.e., block shutdowns because of obstructions and a host of other things. So we just want to make sure that we have some form of connectivity with you to disseminate this information.
Is that 7 days a week?
What?
The hours you're talking?
No, it's Monday through Friday, and then at night and weekends, it's anybody can park there. So it only protects your number of parking spaces on your street from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then nights and weekends, anybody can park there, whether they have a permit or not. But it's helpful. It's not, not 100% solution, but I think it is helpful. Any questions on the web? Also, we're gonna take one more question from inside.
This is more about the ward FNAP.
I believe it was, redrawn from 2022.
It was, the new map went into place in, January 2022.
2022. Okay, and can you show me where that?
Sure. So, for those online, the question was about the new ward map. Before I go there, did anybody else have any questions about parking, enforcement, zone parking? But I'm happy to answer that question about the ward map.
Okay, hi, everybody. My question is actually like a two-parter. So I do know of, someone who does have his own parking on their block. They happen to live on Fulton. However, the zoning at the time, I don't know what it is now, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and I don't want to sound fast, but who cares about the daytime? It's at night. That's when we should be concerned about parking, because if you go out, let's say you do late night shopping, whatever, you go out with friends, family, when you come home, you have no place to park. That should be the concern, not 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. I'm not a senior citizen, so there's nothing against anybody. But who cares about the daytime? It's the nighttime that we're concerned about. Because on my block, I live on Rainbow between Crescent and Monticello. If I'm not in the house by at least an hour, I get no parking. I'm circling the block till someone leaves, to leave the block, or you have someone as far over as the place coming over to park on my block, or you have someone on Monticello coming to park on my, so they don't have to move for the street sweeper, which is unfair. So it's like that time frame, it doesn't make sense.
So we can, ask parking enforcement and the division of traffic if we have any leeway there with, changing the times. I have seen, several different amendments, like over the years, it's been amended and amended, so, it's possible that we can create a new zone that has a different time.
I'm not totally sure that, because I've seen parking permits that says you can't park, period.
So that's-
So I don't know
Yeah.
the specific one, you're speaking to, but we definitely can check that, to see. Yeah, because I agree, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. It may fit that area. Like, it may fit that area, and not your area.
It don't fit. It don't fit. It don't fit.
Okay.
Even if it don't fit.
Okay. Anyone else have any,
As to how much is the zone parking in the year. So $10 a year for your first, $10 a year for the first car, 15 for the second car, 20 for the third car, so it goes up $5 for every car you have in that household. And you do have to have like your address on your driver's license and your car registration has to be that residence on that street.
not I live here, that's my mother. So it has to be actual proof. DMV registration solidifies that actual proof to that address. Crystal, did you have a second part? You said you have a two-part question. Oh, okay, all right. I don't want to make sure I wasn't, okay. Ms. Massey.
Since we're talking about parking enforcement, whatever came of the street sweeper coming down once a week per side of the street like they did downtown?
Yes, I've actually just seen an email about that, them going, back and forth. So that's something that we're constantly engaging. And again, the thing with these sweeping and these parkings, some people are of the assessment that we want to see the sweeper twice because it's dirty. I want to see people clean and take ownership
That's the law.
versus, inconveniencing people.
Clean in front of your property.
Yes. To your question, I did literally just see the email this week with regards to that pilot. So we're working on that.
The responses were 50-50, like, because they did the pilot program downtown, and the feedback was literally 50-50.
For downtown?
With
Yeah.
regards to like, so if you want to bring the pilot program here, that's something to entertain, saying, hey, because if we want to bring the pilot program here, then we can, put out a petition and see if the pilot program is something that is not gonna, what we don't want to do is uproot people's lives, because the pilot program is just that, it's temporary, so it can be confusing. So there has to be a mass
marketing campaign to first say, hey, would you mind if we did this pilot program? And then once we decide to do it and get scheduled, people need to know way further in advance, hey, we're doing this pilot program, it's gonna last this long, and just maybe, even if you don't like it, if you hate it, just bear with us, let us finish the pilot program in its entirety, because it's a study, and sometimes pilot programs can get shut down too early because a lot of people are complaining. But we'll work with the block associations to try to get some feedback about bringing the pilot program to Warren.
Anyone else? Parker related questions, comments, concerns?
So the pilot program was reducing street sweeping to just once a week. They chose a neighborhood downtown to practice, to do this program. And so they implemented the pilot program last year, I think for, I don't know how long it was. But it was for a certain amount of months where they said, let's see if this area can survive, can stay clean with just one sweeper coming down, so people didn't have to move their cars every day.
Yeah.
It was a 50-50. People, 50% of the neighborhood liked it, 50% of the neighborhood did not.
Can we just be realistic about downtown for 1 second? Most of downtown consists of buildings. There is no one who owns an apartment, condo, whatever, in that building that's gonna go outside and sweep. So they don't have the same traffic as someone who owns a home or who lives in a multi-dwelling family. So of course it's gonna work because you don't have the same amount of traffic in reference to people being outside as you do, let's say, up this way or further up in the Greenville section. Of course it's gonna work downtown. You have nothing but apartment buildings downtown, so no one's hanging out downtown. Not like that. So that's realistic, right? They're not watering, so that's not realistic.
We can have a separate town hall where we can come back with those answers and the results of the pilot program. I didn't prepare that for today, but we did get the results of the pilot program. I don't have that on demand right now.
But we can definitely talk about it at the next town hall, which is in December. That's not too far away. And it was parking enforcement not having we've been told that we are short, the city is short on enforcement. We don't have enough people to enforce the laws, so enough parking enforcement. So the budget passed, the hiring freeze is over. If you look for a job, definitely go to the city because they need more employees, most definitely. But we can add the pilot program to our next town hall and have a more detailed discussion, and we can also add pilot program information on our website.
I'm curious on how it's affected the ticket writing. Because that's how this whole thing started. Because so many people were getting parking tickets like $55 a month.
Yeah. No, that's a real concern, with regards to the people getting tickets. But again, we just have to look at all of the data as it relates to the pilot in that area. It's a critical point. We do want to make sure we have a pilot in this area too, to give us a better gauge of, do we think this beneficial? Is it something that we want to continue after we see the pilot? But we'll follow back up in our next town hall with all pilot related and parking and clean related issues. I think only thing left for business now is, so we'll just open up for general Q&As. Again, the public safety portion, the captains couldn't come, but their meetings is on the 28th. So at this moment, we have about 28 minutes left to do questions, comments, and or concerns. And I see somebody on Zoom trying to figure ways to mute themselves. But if you have any.
Oh, sorry, there was zone parking. I just want to make sure we answered all the zone parking.
I just wanted to make sure we answered all the zone parking questions online. How much is zone parking? It was difficult to hear. What about if you have a guest? So if you have a guest they can apply for a visitor's permit. And the parking phone number is 201-547-5538. We get a lot of parking calls because of this dial, because our extension is 5338. Parking enforcement is 5538. But yes, so we can dive more into, street sweeping at our next town hall, and we'll add that information to our website. And then, so we'll open it up to resident concerns and comments. We'll take resident concerns and comments in a person first, and then we'll take it to Zoom. Suzanne has a question. Let's go to Suzanne. We'll go to Zoom first. I see Suzanne. Give me a minute to plug the audio in so we can hear you here.
Suzanne, can you unmute yourself, young lady? Oh, there we go. Suzanne, you're
Yeah, can you hear me now?
There you go.
Okay, perfect. Thank you both. Council Gilmore and Erica, I really appreciate you guys. I need to say, I think 4 things. One, the time restrictions that one of our community people spoke to, like restricting from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. for those of us who live here would be very helpful. I spend 40 minutes waiting for a parking space when I get home, and I from work. So that's one. Number 2, and Council Gilmore, we spoke with us multiple times about the number of spaces that diet put us on. And I have plenty of evidence, and I would be more than happy to share it with you about how stupid some of those spaces that they took away from us are, that they make no sense. And I understand the restrictions on going in and out of parking spaces. I get that. But these have nothing to do with that. So I would share them with you. So that's number 2. Short, as far as enforcing, I have gotten another ticket. I mean, I've had 4 before this. I just got another one. We park in a place that is one of those places that if you back up really, really far up and let somebody else to be in there, and everybody in the neighborhood does it. We do it to help one another. I get it. I got a ticket, and nobody else who has ever been parked there has gotten a ticket. And I have pictures because it kind of pisses me off. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that, but whatever, it makes me mad. As far as the once a week sweeping, we love it. And I've never been asked. None of the people I know of on our street on Christopher Columbus have ever been asked if we love it. We love it. Once a week is perfect. So I don't know how you get this data. Remember when we were talking, I don't know, a year ago or something, and people were talking about the fact that they wanted bicycle lanes. Nobody asked us if they wanted bicycle lanes. And I'm all for bicycle lanes, but not 2 5-foot lanes on the Christopher Columbus. I can't even park and feel safe because I can't open my door without worrying about the next car that's going to come by to kill me, or at least take my door off. Anyway, I love your responses, and I love the fact that you listen to us. Thank you.
Gotta mute yourself. Clapping.
No, I'm not.
No sound. No sound from the.
meeting as well. I'm not anti-bike lanes, I'm just pro-responsible bike lanes, pro-responsible community engagement, because what we should always try to do is to take everyone's input. Not if, a group is louder than another group or a group that more influence. You take everyone's input into consideration and you try to come up with the best infrastructure. One of my biggest critiques about the bike lane is that we just put them there and we don't give them the supportive infrastructure. What is the supportive infrastructure, Councilman? I.e. mechanisms for people on a bike to know what they should and shouldn't be doing. Right? You can't just fly through in a bike lane, much like a car just can't fly through on the road. So I see in New York, they have like traffic devices that's specifically for bikers who adhere to, right? And then someone also brought up a good point, it's like, well, there's instances where biking people that's riding bikes are hitting people. They have to have insurance. All that stuff have to be considered, right? Let's figure out how can we do things in a responsible, inclusive manner so we can make the city work for everybody, right? So that's my whole disposition on the bike. But to me, to be completely honest, if I was completely selfish, I'm an adamant runner, so it helps me out a lot. But in all fair and transparent, in all honesty, like we just have to consult that. It have to be just make it where it's beneficial to everybody. Because I can't understand of a bike lane in a winter. Especially here where it snows a lot and it's drastically cold, right? So I would love to see somewhere, all right, we have a bike lane from this duration to this duration, because in certain weathers, everybody's not driving a bike anyway, right? How do we challenge ourselves as a city to be extremely productive as it relates to sharing our roadways from a safety perspective and from a utilization perspective?
And how are they gonna be plowed, the bike lanes that are inside the park?
Exactly.
How are they gonna plow that?
But they do have the little, the micro, the Bobcat, yeah, which is drastically harder, because you gotta be more, it takes more time. Yeah. But we can do a whole, segment on it, because that's always been a hot topic, bike lanes. And I think it deserves enough, attention that when we get opposing cars from both sides, it just makes it right. It's do it the right way.
And both the street the pilot program and the bike lanes fall under the Department of Infrastructure. So we'll definitely make sure we reach out to them to make sure they have availability for our next town hall, which is in December. So we'll begin the conversation.
Yeah, young lady.
Yes, good evening. In defense of those of us who opted to get masters in urban studies rather than social work, the kinds of things we do are rearranging to making best pocket cards and places to sit down like they have journals there. They look stupid. And in the winter time, we sit outside and we nobody. And in New York, it's really a pain in the neck, but you want to keep your chairs open because you say, I need to cross the street, I don't need, X, Y, Z or whatever going on. And the same thing with the bike lanes, it's a similar kind of a problem. But I guess these are the thoughts of people who thought about the urban environment and everybody who lives here and what they have. My thesis was on raising kids in the city, so I'm not, I wasn't there. Actually, I wanted to address housing. Okay. Yo, could we? Is it possible for people here, for these management companies like RPM, for the OBM, those are nice buildings in there, who live there? People from out of town. Mr. Gilmore. That's not fair. I mean, they're in strategic areas. You come down Forest, you go down Ocean, and you see these buildings like, are we represented as a good group of people, of lower income or whatever, or handicapped, if you will, who lives there? It's just not fair. The developers can't bring people from, some God knows where to live in an area. What about the dogs, cats that are already here? Okay? And we wonder why there's trash everywhere. We have dogs and cats.
I mean, that's
Who would be people, but,
That's a great question. One of the biggest pet peeves I have about our affordable housing is, we put the onus on the developer to essentially choose the recipients of the affordable housing. I would like to, challenge my colleagues and myself to create something similar to North. They have it where as though the developer have 10 dwellings with this, in this establishment. We are responsible for placing the people there. Now, there's some catchy things with regards to affordable housing. It's like some things by law you can't do. I kind of, got in trouble. I was like, well, we'll just advertise it to Jersey City people. And he's like, well, Councilman, you can't do that.
you can't do that.
The way the funding is dispersed, and there's a whole bunch of other things. So I really want to challenge myself and my colleagues to try to create something where we have the affordable housing of Jersey City, where the city is responsible for filling up those dwellings. I'm not anti people coming in. I'm just pro taking care of people that have been here for a while, who've been here on a hard time when you didn't want to walk up and down Monticello Avenue. Right, so I just want to make sure we're being very responsive and respectful to those people. But there are a few people in those new dwellings, not nearly as much as I would like to see, but there are a few people.
Okay. I wanted to answer the board that question.
Oh, wait, no, yes. Then put it up.
So I'm about to put it up on the website. So, that board map question, I'm so glad you asked.
Well, you look at it, Pine Street. Oh, you out. You still in.
Yeah, I was in.
Yeah, you still in, though.
Yeah, what is that, Ward 8, or is that?
That's what.
If you go to the Councilman Gilmore, we will still take care of you, still call our office, you are still an honorary Ward F resident. So, so the ward map changed in 2022, on the left, sorry, let me share my screen. Share screen. So the map on the left is the old Ward F, which included Liberty State Park, and on the right is the new Ward F, which removes Liberty State Park and the west side of Pacific and Garfield. Remove the east side of Pacific Avenue and Garfield Avenue, and as you can see, this area here.
Yeah, it used to be F.
That used to be F, now it's A. So Denise Ridley is your council person. But like I said, you're still an honorary Ward F resident. We will, if you have a need, we can still service you. You can search your address with this link right here. It'll take you to the Jersey City ward map if you aren't sure, or if you're on the border. Just scroll down to the bottom half of that site and enter your address here. Say I live at 78, or you know what? Let's just say, where are we here? 465 Forest. So your address will pop up, and then you click on your address, and it will tell you what ward you're in. So that map will tell you where you are, and if you scroll down, it will tell you the boundaries of each and every turn. There are many corners and crevices of Ward F. There's a current litigation. So if you want to learn more about the ward map and when it changed, this site will bring you to news links. This site will bring you to the Facebook page for the ward map fight. This button will bring you to the GoFundMe page, because the plaintiffs are still trying to raise funds to fight the fight. And we have this on our page because many block associations are a part of this. I'm listed as a plaintiff, Councilman Gilmore is listed as a plaintiff, and along with dozens of block associations who have a problem with this map because it basically divided communities. It's easier to fight a fight when all of your community is together. And it's not just Southside residents have a problem with this. We have, Black associations from all over Jersey City that are listed in the ward map fight. Because for instance, the downtown, the waterfront was split. Now a third of the waterfront is in Ward F, a third of the waterfront is in Ward D. And so they don't have the waterfront issues, but now they have 3 different council people to talk to about it. And so they're spreading us thin, and it makes it harder for us to do our job when we are not in a concrete, what is the word, a contiguous block. And so now, as you can see how it stretches like an F, it doesn't make sense, but that is the map, those are the boundaries. If you're in the new Ward, we still love you too. So on this website, I welcome you all, encourage you all to tour the website. We have a lot of resources on there that can answer a lot of your problems and questions. Another one part while we're here, I just want to highlight this Find Help button. It's on every page of our website. This Find Help site helps you find local nonprofit organizations and nonprofit services in your area. Just type in your zip code, and then it'll ask you, what are you looking for? Are you looking for food, housing, goods, transit, health, money, care, education, work, legal? They will put you in touch with organizations that offer these services. And they have all the contact information, and sometimes you can even apply straight from this website for those services on this Find Help. And this is a program that is paid for with your tax dollars. So please use this site. And now they don't promote it enough, but your tax dollars are paying for this website.
You have a question?
Okay,
Was there ever a reason given by anybody as to why the city was split up?
Gilmore one.
Yeah,
So
I know.
That's the short version.
Right.
But every 10 years, they do a redistricting. So because Ward E grew by 30,000 people, they had an option. They could either add another ward, which they should. There was enough people.
I thought that they could have added another ward, but because we're in the Faulkner Act, yeah, you can't add another ward, but they could have simply just just move people over accordingly, because you pretty much butchered the inside of Ward F only for us to have the same exact amount of people still in the ward.
Had it been 10 years?
Yeah, it happened, it was 10 years ago, but there was a lot of things, so they did the census during COVID. A lot of people don't like to do a census in general, especially during COVID. You don't want your kids sneezing, so you're not gonna allow a stray, you're not just communicating with anyone. Yeah, and I think we could have done, a better disservice by being transparent with the whole process, which they weren't, taking feedback, which they didn't. So it just was really messy, but in light of all of that, I'm the people's council person, so I really don't even care about the jurisdictions at this point, how they do the map or anything.
And I didn't want to say it was right.
So we have any other questions, comments, and concerns? We have 7 minutes left. Saying Pleasant, thank you, Gilmore, for strongly advocating for justice. True. Andrew Washington, heard about police. Anytime. Police. Any kind of mental health crisis, which hundreds of cities have. No more questions from Michelle. Anyone have any other questions? All right, Michelle has the last question. Everyone, please make sure you sign in.
We have resources in the back, we have COVID tests in the back.
You take them, go.
Residents response center books in the back, all of that.
Very disappointed that there's no police presence here, because a growing concern of mine is this cannabis nonsense, and how young people in high school uniforms are walking down the drive, opening smoking weed. Then I've got all these daycare centers around me. Excuse me, folks.
Y'all can keep it down.
So just keep it down so we
here to speak.
And then, you got daycare babies walking through clouds of heat. People are just openly smoking it out on the street, and there's no enforcement. And it's starting to annoy them. A couple of times, every other day, I have to go outside and ask people to move from in front of my business door because it smells like a weed lounge in my office. And it just bothers me that there's no form of enforcement. I mean, it's just blatant. And, I know there's some sort of concern about them harassing the kids. I say the parents got an issue with that, then they should have an issue with the parents, because these kids are smoking weed and going to school. And it's not new, but just the way they're doing it now, it's nothing discreet about it. And that needs to be addressed.
I was really hoping public safety showed up, because we have so many public safety, concerns, that being one of them. Because enforcement is key. You can have whatever you have you can have everything on the book, but if there's no enforcement mechanism, then all that is for nothing. So the next one, we definitely gotta make sure, we reach out to have some representative from the police department. And the captain's offense, they're normally it was at every tower that we've done, since the beginning. So, we'll reach back out for the next one, just to make sure they're present.
And maybe at the next one, because if we get a better handle on how many cannabis shops per ward, because I got from Commerce the list of cannabis businesses that were approved by the cannabis board. And I'm telling you, there was 16 in Ward B and 11 in Ward F.
We checked those addresses.
A lot of those addresses are incorrect.
It's about 9.
Yeah, we have about, I think, 8. But again, that's CCD.
I don't like people getting bad information.
Well, what happened is, I think it's an honest mistake, and it's probably because of the, cutting of the map, because the address are there, so they think that it's the border, but it's not border. That's probably part of it.
I'm also concerned about how many more applications there are out there.
Well,
I hate to see people spending this money like crazy and paying these exorbitant rents at various locations, and they'll never see the light of day. So that's foul.
Well, it's gonna be a huge problem because, that's something that it's gonna be all type of litigation, because you can't change the rules in the middle of the game and say we're doing this and we're doing, so people are gonna be found left and right, because the reality is that all those people that paid no money to go through that process is not gonna be able to. By sheer legislation, like you can't be within certain. So that's why now they're trying to say, let's just throw away proximity or whatever. So I was like, well, that's kind of messed up to do that.
I just don't want you to see Jackson Hill known as the weed district.
Well, we ain't gonna worry about that, because most of the applications, everybody.
I'm already looking at 6, and if you already submitted your application, you can't log it in. So they still want to process.
Not the ones after the moratorium. The one.
I understand that.
One in the pipeline.
Before the moratorium, I mean, they were getting like upwards to 89 applications a week. And I don't know how many are out there. I'm already looking at 6.
Well, that's the thing, if they would have just followed the letter of the law that told you you wouldn't have had to cap it. Because by the letter of the law is a dispensary is here, you can't open up, and then you have to be in that zone. So you don't really need a cap, because the law clearly specifies in a certain zone and away from certain entities.
I'm telling you, it's a mess. Because on one side, you got 2 cannabis shops.
The shit's in all, yeah.
That's crazy. Is that the one with the book?
I don't know.
That's crazy. And there's no way you can tell me that both of those applications were processed at exactly the same time. All you have to do is look at the address. And again, I'm scared. I mean, I got 5 in the area of the uniform myself and okay intersection. We're looking at 5. Just right there. they're approving, at least one of these entities are approving so many cannabis shops that if they go the distance, I mean, and then just, what is it, 600 feet? Every time I ask somebody what the distance between each shop, it's, first I heard 1,000, 300, 600.
People get 1,000 mixed up with the actual CDS law, because CDS stipulated that it will report within 1,000 feet of a school. So it was never 1,000, it was always 600 feet away from either a school, daycares are not considered for whatever reason. I don't understand. In fact, you would think you would want to protect the pigs more than any other group. But yeah, it's all in all, it's a mess.
And okay, in Montecito, we're surrounded by schools.
Yeah.
We got daycares. Then we got the Dollar School up on Bergen Avenue, Jersey City Charter School on Avenue, and then we got Snyder, 34, 15. And they may be in the middle of those blocks. So the distance thing won't play with that. And anyway, I just wanted to bring it up. And we can talk further about that. This is a real issue. And but these kids freely walking up and down the drive from the weed is outrageous. It's gotta change. It's gotta change.
Well, I do want to thank everyone for coming out. Please take some literature, please take the donuts, please share the Everything Board site with your family and friends. And again, everyone have a good night, take care.